Cheers, legends. Sammy from Short and Stout Beer Reviews. Merry Christmas. And we've got another Christmas beer for the day. This one was picked up from Otter's Promise, which is a bottle shop bar in Armadale in Melbourne, or Melbourne, one of those suburbs. It's an annual release. I think they might change up the ingredients slightly, but very, very nice name. Fat Santa. So yeah, obviously the 2024 release. And it's a barrel-aged stout at 10.4%. And this year's version has vanilla bean, tonka bean, and coffee bean. And it's always a very, very enjoyable beer. So yeah, it's barrel-aged with Starwood whiskey barrels. And Starwood's probably one of the best distillers in Australia. They're worldwide, so yeah, they're pretty renowned. Looking forward to this one big time. I've had a couple of glasses of the Canvent Raspberry Sour I had, and yeah, very enjoyable. I was sort of deciding what to do next. I thought Bumpy's show was on earlier than what it was, so yeah, I probably could have done my own panel, but anyway, let's tuck into this. I've got my Boatrocker hashtag proper glassware. Pretty cool little stout glass this. And this is from their Ramjet 2024. Ramjet is Boatrocker's sort of cult classic stout that they released. I think they release around July or August every year. And they even have a day dedicated to it. So Fat Santa is pretty similar to Ramjet. Same sort of whiskey barrel, just with some subtle differences in adjuncts. So let's get into it. And cheers, Stewie. Good to see you, brother. Bit of a spontaneous one, this one, but it was a beer that had to be done on Christmas Day. The Fur Babies. So let's get into it. Hopefully this one doesn't go all over me. And speaking of the Fur Babies, they helped me clean up that mess from before. Thankfully, I've got a hard floor, so it just sort of sat there and the dogs licked most of it up. And I'll shout this beer out to Adam from Mersey Beers because he is coming to Australia at some time this year. And I wanted to get him some really good Australian beers to showcase our craft scene. And this was one of them I've got for him. So hopefully he watches this review at some stage and knows what to expect from this bad boy. So, pause. I would say like a very, very dark brown. It's almost black. The glass is a bit dirty. Apologies for that. Do the old tap. Yeah, drunk pups. They normally don't go near alcohol, but I think because this was like a raspberry ale, they actually enjoyed it. So yeah, slightly tan head. I'd say one finger. I was probably two when I poured it. I would say medium to full body. As far as carbonation goes, fairly light, but expected with this sort of style. Let's go a whiff, and I've got a feeling it's going to smell very nice. Oh, I love tonka bean. It is so good. It's the first thing I smelled. Oh, Lordy. It's so different as well. Like, I feel like tonka bean gives off it's got like a real earthy presence, but it's like earthy in a good way. But you sort of get like a chocolatey, spicy sort of note. It's hard to describe, but I love it. And yeah, apparently it's banned in certain countries. So I'm definitely getting more Tonka than vanilla. Vanilla's there, but just not as dominant. Coffee's pretty light. I feel like the coffee will come out more as it warms. As far as the base goes, you're getting like it's like not real roasty in your face. It's just sort of delicate. I feel like there's a fair bit of caramel there, like chocolate. It's got that sort of fudgy vibe to it. Maybe some brown sugar. I'm not getting any dark fruit at the moment. There could possibly some come out in the taste. Oh, it smells so good. Yeah, tonka bean. Tonka bean for me is like terpenes. It's one of those things you don't see that often. I mean, terpenes are actually in your face everywhere now, but they never used to be. And like, I really appreciate it. But yeah, tonka bean's unreal. It's probably pretty expensive, I'd say. But yeah, there's a Imperial Stout by Lervig, who are based in Norway. They've got one called Three Bean Stout, and I think that's tonka bean, vanilla bean, and I don't know if it's chocolate or coffee. Mm. Anyway, it's really, really good. Oh, I could just smell that for days. And yeah, I love the artwork's awesome. Like just the black, red, and white, and with the gold. It just looks so cool. It actually, I've got like a black shirt on today with the Santa hat. Goes well with this can. It was pretty funny putting the photo of me with the the Santa hat and the beer next to me. So anyway, time to get into it. Cheers, and once again, Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Oh my God. It's actually a lot roastier and rich on the palate than, yeah, what I thought. Oh, wow. Yeah, that Tonka's massive. I just really hope this beer holds its age. Like it's absolutely splendid drinking it now, drinking it fresh, but I really hope when Adam gets to try it, like another 6 months away from now, that it still drinks as good as what it is now. That is sensational. Stewie, can you remember what I scored Ramjet? Was it like 4.8 or 4.9 or something? Wow. I'm going to have to get another can of this for sure. It's expensive as fuck, but it's one of those beers that's worth it. And yeah, I've already bought two, so I bought one for me and one for Adam. Oh man, it's so good. So up front on the nose and the palate, you're getting tonka bean. You're getting this like chocolatey, earthy, sort of like slightly spicy. So it's almost like what the characteristics you get from like rye. That's what I'm sort of getting. And then you're getting like a little touch of vanilla, just that nice sweetness and that, I don't know, that characteristic in taste you get from vanilla. Coffee isn't there too much. Probably a good thing. Like it might come out more as it warms, but for me, vanilla and tonka is where it's at. So I'm sort of glad the coffee isn't overpowering. As far as the malt base goes, yeah, it's like actually more rich and roasty than expected. It's you're getting a combination of dark chocolate, caramel, brown sugar, like, and then like a little touch of coffee as well. The beer definitely, if you're after a beer where you want a huge coffee flavour, I don't think this is the beer for you. But yeah, it is amazing. And yeah, still not getting like any dark fruit. It's just more about like the roasty features in this one. Cheers, buddy. And cheers, Twisted. Good to see you. I see Geordie was live and fallen asleep. Disco was on there. I think a lot of the time Disco had no idea what Geordie was talking about. Cheers, Angie. Good to see you again, mate. And yeah, I was going to come up and hang out with you. And once I got back from the supermarket and did a few things, it was like I just sort of crashed. I was in a bit of a mood yesterday. I mean, I was in good spirits, but there was definitely shit on my mind. But yeah, this is excellent. This is the sort of beer you want to be drinking on Christmas. Just so damn sexy. So, those of you that just joined, it's an Imperial Stout. It's very, very like roasty and rich, but it has the inclusion of tonka bean, vanilla bean, and coffee bean. And it's aged in whiskey barrels. And it's like one of our best like whiskey brewers here in Australia. So yeah, it's just like a combination of so many epic things coming together. Plus, it's called Fat Santa. How could you not love it? Just so damn good. And I don't know if you have heard me talk about Ramjet or remember me doing the Ramjet week where I did all the different variants. This is a very similar beer to that, but sort of like with a Christmas twist to it. As far as the barrel character goes, it's not as standoutish as Ramjet. I think though, because the adjuncts probably take center stage. Like that tonka bean is fucking immaculate. It's so good. Like I absolutely love vanilla bean. When it comes to my favourite beers of all time, most of them are bourbon barrel aged impy stouts with vanilla. But if I could get a really, really epic one, like Side Project or Bottle Logic or one of those like Toppling Goliath, one of those real big, epic impy stouts, if it had vanilla bean and tonka bean in it, I think that would be my ultimate beer. But apparently tonka bean's banned in the States, which is weird. I can't remember what the reasoning for it is. I thought it was like a hallucinogenic thing, but apparently it's I think it's if it's not utilized a certain way, it can be poisonous or something like that. Yeah, there's some sort of like danger to it. So yeah, I know it's banned in the US. It's banned in like a few other places, but us Australians are like, fuck it. We got things that'll kill you every day of the week. We'll take a little Tonka bean. Yeah, because if it's anything that's outside your country, you just don't give a fuck about it. We've got this. He's like an Aussie crocodile dude, sort of like an older version of Steve Irwin, and like he's got a TikTok and an Instagram channel, and like he just comments on some of the ignorance of Americans and like responds to it. It's so fucking funny. Like there was this guy going on the other day saying how he just can't fathom the fact that in Australia we have Christmas when it's hot and that we have barbecues and we're on the beach and that during Christmas and it's like and the guy's like, yeah, well, what's your point? The whole southern hemisphere is the same thing. He's like, don't they teach you geography at school? Cheers, mate. No doubt we'll see you again sometime. So yeah, after a couple of glasses of the big Magnum sour I had, and then tucking into this, I'm starting to feel a little lubricated. It's good though. Christmas Day is always grim for me, so it's like fuck it, I just get loose and just don't care. And I'm glad that Bumpy's doing a Christmas inspired stream, just so yeah, jump up with some mates, do some Christmas beers, it'll be good. Yeah. It's actually decent weather today, but it's been a bit unreliable. So like yesterday, it was meant to be all right, and it was actually cold and windy. So it's like you sort of can't plan anything. You just got to like just do it on the day. And then today, yeah, just out of nowhere, it's like quite warm. Like just sitting here with this Santa hat, I'm like, ooh, it's a little bit toasty. But yeah, like unfortunately, where I live now, the closest beaches to me are very touristy. So like it'd be one of those things to make the drive there and have to put up with all the touros and that I just couldn't be fucked. Like it'd just be too much work. Whereas in my hometown, I'd just walk to a beach where I knew there was no one else around and absolutely loved it. Used to go there every single Christmas day. Unfortunately, yeah, certain parts of my state on the coastline now, it's like the rich city folk have bought homes there, and yeah, it's just flooded with like just fuckwits, and they hog the road and it takes forever to get anywhere. It's just not the same. I really miss the Australia from when I was a kid. It was just so much better. It's just, yeah, I don't like the direction our country's going. It's just become way too busy. It was really good as a kid, like, because, yeah, you just, well, it's that bad now. My hometown, over the summer period, it goes from 30,000 people to over 100,000 just because of all the tourists and the city folk wanting to hang out there. It's like, just fucking go away. Leave us, leave us alone. But yeah, it's just hard now to find places where you get peace and quiet. Whereas back in the day, because Australia is such a massive country, it was like, yeah, you'd always be able to go somewhere and no one else was around. But just everywhere you go now, it's just tourists and city folk trying to buy someone else's property. And what did I ask you? I'm not sure. Oh, um, I asked you if you could remember what I gave Ramjet. So I remember me and you have spoke heaps about Ramjet, and that was around the time I reckon when me and you sort of first started hanging out, and you always used to sort of bring up Ramjet as like a benchmark sort of thing. I just couldn't remember what I gave it as far as the score goes when I reviewed it. I've had it plenty of times, and I always sort of score it around sort of 4.6 to 4.9. And I just couldn't remember what I gave this year's edition because, yeah, I'm just drinking this thinking there's certain things in this beer I prefer more than Ramjet, but then there's other things that I think's not quite as good. That's why I was sort of wondering what I scored. But yeah, I need to pour some more. And I love this little glass. It's cool. They changed their logo recently. Quite often, I reckon breweries have these awesome logos and then they change them and simplify them. And I just always prefer the old one. I love just as soon as you pour it, you just get that whiff straight away. It's so good. Look at that. Tonka bean. It's definitely one of the most Tonka bean forward beers I've had. I have had one that was more so than this, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, this is one of those beers where if I seen Matt, the head brewer from Boatrocker, who's an absolute legend, I'd just go up to him, shake his hand, and say, "Your Fat Santa this year is brilliant. Cheers." Tonka bean. It feels like it's getting more roasty and rich as it goes on. So yeah, comparisons to Ramjet because I had plenty of Ramjet variants this year. I'm going to say that the barrel presence in this, it's probably as dominant, but you're not getting it as much. And I feel like because of the adjuncts are so in your face, they sort of like cancel out a bit of the barrel character. And I mean, if you like the adjuncts in this and what they sort of offer, and you're still getting some of that barrel character, like good on you. And that's exactly what I think. Like, I'm a huge fan of Tonka and vanilla, but I'm still getting that whiskey in the background. So I'm getting sort of this whiskey, oak, even like a touch of it's almost like there's a coconutty thing going on with the barrel. And yeah, you're getting this huge earthiness, like a chocolate sort of character, like spice. But yeah, like roasty malts as well. It's like it's so complex, but it's fucking immaculate. Like that beer I had earlier, I gave that a 4.7. Well impressed. This beer now is even better than that. So it's like I've only had two beers today and they're both up around that like huge, like both elite level, both deserve all the recognition. And this is exactly why I love Boatrocker for beers like this. Like this is insane. I'm ready to score, Stewie, if you're still there. I love how when it comes to scores, it's always like I always sort of talk to you about it. Yeah, you definitely know my thoughts on the beer. I've explained myself many times, but score wise, 4.8. It is phenomenal. I'm very impressed. And I would love to do a side by side of Fat Santa and Ramjet. I think that would make for a very good review. It's all about the Benjamins because they're both expensive beers. So it's I mean I do have some Ramjet in my cellar. I have to buy some more Fat Santa. So yeah, I'm thinking it's something that might need to be done. Maybe I'll Fat Santa, like this is so good. I want to buy like at least one or two more cans of it. Yeah, it's great knowing that Adam's got one in my cellar. So hopefully he really enjoys it like I do, and hopefully it keeps its age. Um, yeah, so as far as Ramjet goes, yeah, Stewie, I've got Ramjet from 2018 or 19 right through to 24. I've got every single version of it just sitting in my cellar. And I've got some variations as well. Like I've got a chalk orange one, a rye one, and I think a salted caramel. Yeah, I've got I've got some unreal shit. But yeah, 4.8 for this bad boy. I'll have to take a photo of it. Luckily, I've still got some in the can. But yeah, Fat Santa 2024 Barrel Aged Stout by the glorious Boatrocker. Brewers and Distillers. So yeah, they're based in the southeast of Melbourne. It's a suburb called Brayside. Bit of a pain to get to. I mean, especially for me because I'm on the other side of Melbourne. But yeah, definitely worth the visit. I mean, when I catch up with people from the beer tube community, if they finally get a chance to come to Melbourne, Boatrocker, Banks, that area, I'd love to take them. Because yeah, I think as far as Victoria goes, Banks and Boatrocker are definitely two of the best, and they're in that same sort of area. Um, yeah, that's about all I've got to say, I think. Top notch to Boatrocker. So yeah, great beer to have on Christmas Day. And yeah, I hope everyone out there is having a good Christmas. I mean, it's only Christmas Eve going into Christmas morning for you, but hopefully tomorrow or later today is a good day for you. I'm out. And yeah, if anyone wants anything to watch, check out Bumpy Isms. Starts in 40 minutes. Bumpy Isms is the name of the channel. He's got a Christmas special, so there's going to be a few of us on there just drinking Christmas beers and a bit of banter and good times. So thanks again, peeps. And as far as reviews go for me, I'm going to have plenty of them in the next few days. But don't be surprised if there's another one on here in like, I don't know, 6, 7 hours time, like later tonight. It's only early in the day for me. So cheers again and laters.